I'd love to be a time traveller, so I would. I just hadn't got the time. Boys and girls, welcome to GrayFoxPlay. Today we're looking at the locations for each rock carving and the story of the gentleman that speaks in a strange dialect, using slang that only serves to confuse the protagonist, and a fashion sense that just doesn't fit in this time period. To trigger this encounter, you'll want to head here, where you'll find a ginger-haired man with a birthmark over his right eye sitting on the porch of a small cabin.
Well, what's eating you, partner?
Eating me?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'll dry up. See, Hey, can I ask you a strange question? I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but I'm on the level.
I don't have a clue what you just said.
I know, it sounds ridiculous, but I'm on the up and up, and it's really important.
These little rock carvings.
Yeah, exactly, little rock carvings.
What do you want to do with them?
Well, it's sort of very complicated, and you'll think I'm jazzed if I tell you.
You're what?
Drunk?
Are you...
No, I wish. No, I'm, lost. It's a long story. Hey, listen, if you find them, I'll pay you handsomely. Send me details, if you can. Here's my card.
And if I can't?
Well, I'm sure you can, sport. I'm sure you can. Francis Sinclair.
John Marston.
Pleasure.
But I don't understand. What are you going to do with these things?
Well, I told you. If I told you, you'd think I was on the hooch.
The what?
I'm gonna have a lie down. I don't feel very well. And neither would you if... but, hey, what harm could it do?
What a lunatic.
After speaking to this man, the Stranger Side mission titled Geology for Beginners will begin. And you'll be walking away with a business card with the name Francis Sinclair printed on it, a list of the amount of rock carvings you're looking for, and probably more questions than answers. Our first rock carving brings us to the nosebleed peaks of Mount Hagen, so remember to wrap up warm. As you can see, I forgot to wrap up warm, which will slowly take life off your meter. Who knew? Apart from everyone. Activate your eagle eye and the carving gives off a flashing glow and a scent not unlike the ones you see above clues when tracking legendary animals. Upon inspecting the carving, you'll notice it appears to depict a Hindenburg-type aircraft flying over buildings that seem to be letting off smoke. Of course, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and we now know that ships like that are fucking death traps that burn people to death while being broadcast all over television. Oh, the humanity. I couldn't seem to find a single thing that lists what each rock carving depicts, so I'll be calling them like I sees them. Still in the state of Amberino, but out of the thick snow of Mount Hagen, we're over at Wynyard Strait. Come off the track, head up the river. Here on the cliff face, looking down at the rapid currents of the clean, clear mountain water, you'll come across the next carving, which I want to say looks like a man walking through a door, or some kind of entrance. Whatever it may be, inspect the carving, and your character will jot it down in the journal. Next, we're off to the narrow path cliff faces that tower over the Dakota River near Fort Wallace. This location may seem familiar, as it's also a hidden gold location, part of the treasure hunting challenges. The carving itself depicts what I interpret as Dr. Evil being held up at gunpoint, and maybe a large bird with a huge wingspan on his back, possibly intimidating him as the other bird holds a gun on him. This seems like the most rational explanation. As the day becomes night, I realise I can barely fucking see. So I thought it was time to set up a camp and start fresh on the morrow. High above the Dakota River, on a cliff face, you'll find your next carving. This seems to show futuristic cities before the first skyscrapers were to be, and a carving of an atom suggesting a lot of knowledge around the subject, as research at this time was in its infancy. Over at Owanjila is where you'll find your next one. This can be a little annoying to get to. One side is hard to cross with your horse, and the other, well, there's a few obstacles around that can make it kind of hard whilst riding your horse. So you might just want to not entertain any of that shit and rip right through with a canoe. Once you've found this carving, you'll notice it's similar to one of the others, in that it appears to show humans passing through some kind of portal.
You're a good filly. You're okay, girl.
Next, we're at Mount Shan, and this one can be a little difficult to find, as it's located on a level you have to jump down that isn't immediately apparent. Once you find it, you'll notice it looks kind of like a sex toy, also DNA, and kind of just what looks like a bit of a cloud or something. Come on, you tell me that's not a dick. Right by the Heartlands and Flatneck Station is where you'll find your next carving. Not as awkward to find as the last one, but again you need to drop down a level to find this too. What we have here appears to be a flying wagon pulled by a cow. That looks like a strip of bacon under its back wheels, and some stars, lightning and the sun. Totally trippy, right? Mark it down in your journal, which makes 7 found with 3 remaining. A stone's throw from Moonstone Pond is where you'll be coming across your next carving, with the sun, a plant and a pyramid, and a leg of what looks like the same man passing through some kind of portal. By now you may have noticed that some of the carvings have parts of previous other carvings in them, suggesting when put together we'll have some kind of full picture that should shed a little more light on what the fuck this means. Roanoke Ridge, bang in Murphy Brood country, is where you'll be finding the next one. Again, you've got to drop down a bunch of levels to get to it, so be careful if you decide to use your horse. Once close enough, you'll be able to make out a smaller but very clear carving of a human walking through another portal, caressing what I can only describe as a soccer ball with giant fake eyelashes on it.
Oh boy.
Last but not least, looking like the biggest out of them all, you'll find the final carving near Elysian Pool. Being a little hard to make out, you'll probably want to go in for a closer look, but trust me, it's just not worth it. Looking like a conductor with a bunch of machetes around, jot down this last carving in your journal. You have now collected each carving. You'll receive a notification telling you this, at which point you'll want to make your way to the nearest post office. And if you did them in the correct order, that would be Van Horn. Now at the post office, select Send Mail, and mail all the locations to Francis Sinclair. Try to avoid townsfolk at this stage, as your character is sure to be in a bad mood after days on the road with little sleep.
What the hell's your problem?
sleep your way through the red dead day, and wake up fresh, ready to collect your mail. However, in this case the clerk was reluctant to cooperate, to which I replied, no problem, I'll try the next town over. Once you've found a clerk that will allow you to collect your mail, you'll notice the various items Francis has mailed to you. Whiskey, money, a rock statue, along with an invitation from him that reads, "Dear Sir, the carvings, you've found them at last. Oh, wait until I show you what I have pieced together. You'll think I'm a bit buttered. Please do not dally, I'm travelling soon and don't want to miss you. See you at my house, a bit north of the midway point between Orangina Lake and Strawberry. Yours truly, Francis Sinclair."
I tell you, do not get yourself drunk before you hop onto
Yeah, tell Van Horn clerk I said hey. After making your totally bitching escape, you'll want to head to the original spot you found Francis.
Hello? Mr. Sinclair? Whoa.
Oh, hello? Can I help you?
I'm sorry for intruding. Mrs. Sinclair?
Yes? How did you know?
I was looking for your husband.
My husband. He's dead. He's been dead since just before Francis was born 1 year ago.
Your husband, Francis, is dead.
No, this is Francis. My husband, Tom, is dead.
I'm a little confused.
Yes, I think you are. What was your name?
It ain't important. Excuse me.
After speaking to who you assume is the wife of Francis Sinclair, you're surprised to learn that she's not who you think she is, and the man you helped and came here to see is no longer here. In his place, a young infant with the same exact name, hair colour, and birthmark over his right eye.
You're strong, boy.
Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Have yourselves a great day, and as always, take it easy.